What old-fashioned values do you embrace? Unless otherwise stated, it is rude for a guest to open someone's refrigerator and start looking around. I thought this was basic etiquette that everyone followed until I had a guest start going through my cupboards and fridge on their second ever visit to my house. All because I was hungry, so I decided I wanna fry a potato.
My mother commented that my uncle is very old-fashioned. She gave the example that he always walks closer to the road when walking with a woman. I never even knew that was a thing. I don't know if it's old-fashioned, but I'm always extra polite to people doing me a service, even if I'm their paying customer. I feel like if someone's going out of their way to make my life easier, even just in the form of a teenager at McDonald's bringing my food to the counter for me, they deserve a little please and thank you. Stand by your word. If you are trying to sell a bicycle, and someone offers $20, and you say deal. But then someone else offers you $50, you should say, sorry, it is already sold. You shouldn't go back in the finalized deal with Mr. $20 just to make another 30 pieces of silver.
I send a thank you note when someone gives me a nice gift or does something extra special for me.
I still prefer physical copies of books over digital. I get the convince of ebooks, but it just doesn't feel the same as holding a real book in your hands or the smell of the pages.
I call people sir, ma'am if I don't know them and I'm in a formal setting. It's kind of unintentional most of the time. Hell, when I was a cashier at Walmart, women would get mad when I called them ma'am because, and I quote, they weren't that old.
Sitting down at the table and eating dinner together as a family, no phones or TV in the background. I hold the door for whoever. Women, elderly, other dudes. But everyone does that here.
Having families and kids is a nice goal to have. As long as you can financially and emotionally support it. What? You mean people should adjust THS number of kids they will have based of their finances? What an outrage,
I like to do my writing with pen and paper before I type it out on a computer. It's honestly pretty inefficient and my handwriting is atrocious, but it really helps with committing the words to memory. It's kinda therapeutic and I can do it pretty much anywhere and at any time. I don't know why, but I just can't write a first draft on the computer. If I don't have a pencil in my hand, my mind goes blank.
Regular stuff, hold the door open for women, correct silverware placement at the dinner table, blacks and whites with separate drinking fountains. That got unexpectedly dark. Black people have been that dark for a while actually.
Ask parents' permission to marry their daughter. But it's failed the last 10 times.
If I invite you to an outing, restaurant, etc., I pay for all of your expenses. This rule applies to anyone.
I respect the elderly. I also think kids should be allowed to have adventures in the outside world instead of being cooped up indoors by helicopter parents. Let young folk go on adventures. If they scrape their knee, so be it. Q stand by me. I'll be honest, I can't stand respect the elderly. My grandfather strongly believes in this, and uses it as an excuse to try and have everyone do everything he says. If you protest even the slightest bit, it turns into a speech about how when he was a kid he would have never dreamed about disobeying his parents, grandparents. I hold the door open for other people. Where I'm from, it's considered rude not to. Is it just a Midwest thing to do?
I care about people's integrity, and take care to be honest and forthright myself.
If it isn't broken, don't fix it. But if it breaks, I repair and not replace. Toasters, fans, lights, basically anything electrical. Sometimes they're super easy to repair. And also YouTube is your best friend.